أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله واستعين بالصبر والصلاة والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to the Majlis's interview. My name is Yasser Ukhtar. For more information on the Majlis, you can go to PhillyMajlis.com, PhillyMajlis.com, PhillYMajlis, inshallah. What's your favorite food? When was the last time you tried a new dish? I'm probably making you a little hungry. Now, from an aqiqah to a walima to the sacrifice of Eid al-Adha, food has been and still is used for years as a backdrop and unifier since our existence, through good and bad times. With us today is a co-founder and one of the admins for this Saturday's Halal Food Festival in Phoenixville, PA, Najah Siddiq. Assalamu alaikum, my sister.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah for joining us. Food. So this food festival, I want to get right into how did the concept of a halal food festival come about amongst you?
Yep, great
It's
question.
like your other partners, I'm sorry, with your other co-founders.
Yep, so along with myself, Najah Siddiq, the other co-founders of the Phillay Halal Food Festival are Noor and Brother Tabish. So the idea of the Phillay Halal Food Festival came from Noor, really. It was a brainchild of Noor, who had this great idea about a food festival that centers Muslim businesses and halal meat. And she reached out to me and asked me what I thought about the idea, and I was all for it. I personally grew up only eating halal zabiha meat, and it's something that from a child I've always been passionate about. Even my non-Muslim friends know that, for me, it's a big thing to only eat halal meat and, never had a Chick-fil-A sandwich and all those other things. Just because I feel very strongly about the topic of halal meat, along with Brother Tabish, who is the founder of the Philly Halal Spots Instagram page. So he promotes different halal businesses and halal meat distributions and things like that across the Philly and greater Philly area. So that's pretty much how it came about. A great trio of three different people from three different walks of life, but alhamdulillah, we balance each other out very well. We all come with different expertise. I'm a graduate of Temple University, so I have a background in business and I work in project management. So organizing a halal food festival for me definitely was something up my alley and something that Allah presented to me and made an opportunity for me that alhamdulillah has been going very well.
Alhamdulillah. What year was that? You said that when Nora called you and stuff, like what year was that? 2022, 2021, or was that exactly last year?
Yep. So last year, 2023 was the first annual Philly Halal Food Festival. So it was in 2023 when we were planning for the food festival, and we did it pretty quickly. People were very surprised about how quickly we, had the idea for the food festival and executed it. And the turnout for the first Philly Halal Food Festival, alhamdulillah, it was bigger and better than we could have imagined. The support from the Philly community and the greater Philly community was outstanding. We were making a lot of du'as on it because for the first of anything, people don't always see the vision. People don't always support it. Sometimes it takes a while to get there, but we definitely have a great audience. It's a big need. And we have the community who is interested in supporting it, and alhamdulillah, it's growing since. So this is the second annual Philly Halal Food Festival and the second of many, inshallah.
What were some of the hurdles in making the first one successful? Because I believe it was successful. What were some of the hurdles?
I also believe it was successful, alhamdulillah. Some of the hurdles were one, like I mentioned, it being the first. It was definitely a hurdle getting people to trust the vision. Because when you just have a vision and you don't have data supporting it, people are asking us how many people are going to be there. You know, we had the number of tickets we had sold then, but we don't have that data yet. As of last year, we didn't know how many people were going to show up. So we were really just going off of the people who are willing to hear our vision and believe in the vision before even seeing any metrics that would confirm that they would even get a return on their investment. So that goes for our vendors. Our vendors didn't necessarily know if the money they were putting into vending was going to, you know, become anything because we didn't have those metrics. We believed in our vision so much that we were able to convince them to believe in the vision. And alhamdulillah, we made out with almost 3,000 attendees last year for the first annual Philly Halal Food Festival. So we're definitely excited about this year. And we definitely had that hurdle last year, gaining the trust of you know, vendors and attendees and, you know, everyone who just is interested in seeing what the first of anything looks like. And then also finding a space to have it at. That was another thing that was very big. And we were trying to, you know, brainstorm different ideas of where we could possibly have it at. So, you know, that was another hurdle that alhamdulillah we were able to overcome.
It's in Phoenixville, PA, off of 422. Why there?
So, like I mentioned, for the first annual Philly Halal Food Festival, we spoke about the idea to numerous people, and alhamdulillah, the Khair Community Center in Phoenixville were welcoming with open arms to the idea. Unlike a lot of locations, they have a huge facility, and you know it's very clean, it's very safe. It's a little bit outside of Philly, and we understand people's concern with that. And it's definitely something that we hear. We don't ignore the feedback about it being in Phoenixville. But one feedback from attendees and from vendors that we heard consistently last year is that people felt very safe being at the Philly Halal Food Festival. Unlike a lot of events, unfortunately, that we have in Philly, in the heart of Philadelphia, which we should be able to have these events in our backyard. Unfortunately, with the uptick in violence in the communities, it was something that we considered. And with them already welcoming us with open arms, it was a no-brainer for us to, you know, go a little bit further out. It's still drivable for the Philly community. It's not too far from the King of Prussia Mall. People from Philly go to the King of Prussia Mall very often and from the King of Prussia area. So weighing the options of people feeling safe in the community, letting us use the facility very graciously, it was a no-brainer for us to have it there.
Who's someone that deserves some credit of helping you three make it this far? Like someone the general public may not know of. Just it may just be, I don't know, whoever.
Someone that deserves a lot of credit for helping us is definitely the leadership of the Khair Community Center. Like I mentioned, you know, for the first Philly Halal Food Festival, people did not necessarily see the vision. And a lot of times it takes a lot to convince someone to let you use their facility. Imagine you have someone who knocks on your door and asks to spend a night in your house. Like, you know, you're not just going to let that happen with anyone. But when you have a rapport with someone and you share your vision and you feel so strongly about your vision and you ensure that, you know, you're going to treat their home with respect as much as you would your own. You know, it was a great partnership with us, and they definitely deserve all the credit for allowing us to, you know, so graciously use their space and be, you know, kind to us and open us with welcoming arms.
As we know, the halal food industry is massive and still growing, yet rampant with lies and confusion. What is your process for determining the status of a vendor's claim of halal food?
So we definitely know that happens, you know. we have different businesses across the Philadelphia area who want to utilize the name of halal just to get Muslims to buy from their business. And unfortunately, that does happen with businesses, but we're determined to make the Philly Halal Food Festival exactly that, a Philly Halal Food Festival. Not just any vendor being able to come in with selling any item. We do have halal verification forms that we verify the source of their meat. We want to know exactly where you got your meat from. Is it hand slaughtered? Is it machine slaughtered? All those things are things that we consider when we're looking at a vendor and if we want them to be a vendor or not, if they meet the criteria to be a vendor for the Philly Halal Food Festival or not. Like I mentioned, I myself grew up only eating Zabiha halal meat. So we never want vendors to play with that terminology like, oh, it's halal because there's no pork in it. Like that's not what we mean here. And also with the halal verification forms, we list that explicitly, like what we mean by that. We even go as far as having the food, the dessert, the beverage vendors fill out halal verification forms. And sometimes you'll get the question like, oh, I'm just selling drinks. There's no there's no meat in it. Or oh, I'm only selling puddings, there's no meat in it. But we know that gelatin, like, not there's non-halal gelatin. There's all these different things that qualify things as not being halal. So we definitely take that into close examination. And I myself wouldn't want to feed anyone anything that I wouldn't eat myself because I only eat Zabiha halal meat. So it's definitely something that we, emphasize and we examine thoroughly with our vendors.
Alhamdulillah. A couple of fun or whatever questions, not that serious questions. What's your favorite food and why?
I'm one of those people that if you ask me what
Oh,
my
you gotta
favorite
get.
food
Oh,
is,
you're gonna say you got like 10 different foods. Now you gotta pick one.
no, I'm actually the opposite. I
Oh,
usually say I don't have a favorite food because I'm like so not picky. Like I like pretty much all foods, but if there's one thing that's gonna like make my jaw drop every time is a seafood boil. I love seafood
mm,
boil with crab legs, shrimp, and mussels. You got the
that's what
corn, you
it's.
got the potato, you got it has to be in the bag though, not in the styrofoam contain that no, that's not a seafood boil.
So I never even knew that. A seafood boil is all that in one.
Yes, it's in a bag. It usually comes in like a clear bag and you get like snow crab legs or you could choose like you can kind of like build your own of what you want in the bag. So I usually get snow crab legs, like a couple clusters, um, shrimp with the head off, mussels, and you have to get the mixed seasoning. See, I'm a foodie. You have to you have to get the mixed seasoning with the lemon pepper, the
Uh-oh.
garlic, and the Old Bay, right? The trio. You can't just get one, and you have to get it. You could get it mild or hot. Just don't get no heat because you got to get a little spice in there.
So what's your favorite spice? What is your favorite spice?
My favorite spice would be like anything spicy, like cayenne pepper or like food is good if my nose is running. That's
Oh
me.
my God. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I can't handle hot food. I'm not too good at that. Now last year's festival was very well organized. Just an observation. I think a map legend would be good in order for people to navigate all the different vendors more easily. So will there be one at this upcoming one?
Inshallah, there will definitely be a map of the food festival. That was one thing that we did take into consideration from last year. And we have outlined a map for our vendors and for our attendees. So last year we did have a map, but it was more for internal use. This year we'll be using a map for attendees or, creating a map for attendees as well to help them navigate different vendors, find out where their favorite vendor is, especially if you come for like a specific person because you saw them on the vendor lineup, or even for our non-food vendor for our bazaar area. If you're coming for a specific person because like, oh yeah, I know my family friend is vending at the Philly Halal Food Festival. Let me look at the map and figure out what spot she's in or he's in, and I can go over there and check them out. So we'll definitely have that available for all of our attendees, inshallah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because I only intended to stay until I think last year's you guys said 8 o'clock was supposed to end.
Mm-hmm.
I wound up being there till like 11 o'clock. It was good though. I wound up being there like 11 o'clock at night. So I see you change the time. I think it's 12 to 10 now. So
Mm-hmm.
alhamdulillah, that's you probably needed that
we
over your time.
definitely we definitely had a lot of people, we definitely took a lot of feedback, like the feedback that we got from the first one, alhamdulillah. It was a lot of good feedback, like nothing was really major, like you guys did terrible at this and that. Like alhamdulillah, we got a lot of good positive feedback and a good positive response, even as far as people like being super excited about coming to the one this year before we even started planning the one for this year. So we definitely wanted to you know give as much time as possible for people to enjoy the festival, for vendors to sell as much as possible, and to just enjoy each other's company, because a lot of times, especially like right now, there's not a lot of activities happening. Earlier in the year you have a lot of things back to back, there's always different events. Right now, we like to do like a fall Philly Halal Food Festival. Maybe things will switch up next year, inshallah, but we kind of like this timing when there's not as many things happening, and people, the Muslim community, the community at large, can come and enjoy each other's company.
And and speaking to that, I think Muslim couples, families, and individuals are always looking for something fun, halal, and beneficial to partake in. Speak to how the festival provides, just that.
Mm-hmm. So the Philly Halal Food Festival, really, like, if you come to the Philly Halal Food Festival, you see the wide range of people who come. You have couples who are coming on a little date. You have families who brought their kids out. You have elders who, are just hanging out with their friends. I remember last year I looked over at the tent where people were, sitting and eating their food, and there was like a section with like older Muslim brothers, and they kind of had this little like camaraderie and this little table going on, that they were just like all older guys just sitting and eating their food and chatting, and you could tell it kind of gave the vibe like they didn't see each other in a long time, and they were really just enjoying each other's company. So it definitely is like a community event, it's a family event, like it's a thing that you can enjoy yourself, and you can bring out all kinds of people from all walks of life, all age groups and things like that, under the facility of Islam. Like we
Mhm.
have a lot of other things that we can do, but like you might go there and you get a bunch of people drinking, smoking, you get a whole bunch of nonsense happening. So for us to have like nice halal Islamic fun, there's not many opportunities for that, unfortunately. And the Philly Halal Food Festival has been a thing that, alhamdulillah, it is showing so much success because it's something that we lack as a community. Things that people actually enjoy, that you can just go and have some downtime and hang out and get away from the noise and the distraction and the fitna of society. It definitely is something that's needed a lot more, and we're very happy to be able to provide that for the community, and inshallah for many more years to come.
And can you speak to the diversity in the cuisine and of
Yeah.
the actual attendees? You kind of touched on that in a sense, but it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely the cuisine, the diversity in the cuisine.
Yep. So the theme of the Philly Halal Food Festival is celebrating the diversity of our cuisines. Because in the larger community, people believe that halal is just chicken over rice. I'm about to go get some halal food from the truck. You mean chicken over rice? So, we aim to break that stereotype of saying halal food meaning just chicken over rice from the cart. And it's so funny when I mentioned being passionate about the topic of halal food. People that I went to middle school with could tell you that I was telling them in middle school halal food is not chicken over rice. Just because you say, "Oh, I'm about to go get some halal," that doesn't that you're not being
So that gets under your skin. That gets
yeah,
under your skin.
that's my pet peeve. I'm about to go to the store and get some halal. That so we aim to break that stereotype, and we show people that halal cuisine is cuisines from all over the world under Islamic um you know, under the Islamic ruling. If you're slaughtering the meat appropriately and the meat is zabiha, the meal can be from wherever. So that's exactly what we aim to show with having food from around the world. This year we've expanded even more, alhamdulillah. Like we have different cuisines that we weren't offering before. We have anything from Mexican food to um, you know, everything.
Ribs,
we
short
have
ribs, and yeah.
Nigerian food, short ribs, cheese steaks. We have a Nepali vendor. We have Uzbek food. We have all these different cuisines that people wouldn't necessarily think of, and we have the things that you might think of a little bit more. We still have the chicken over rice. We still have the shawarmas. We still have the hot chickens. We still have all those things, but expanding it a little more to show people like, wait, I didn't know that halal food could be X, Y, and Z. Um, so it's definitely a honor for us to show people what halal food can be. And, it's an opportunity not only for the Philly Muslim community, but for the community at large, and to open even non-Muslims' eyes to what halal food is, because it's definitely something that beyond a food festival in our greater society, it's extremely important to have halal as options in the larger community, to have it in hospitals, to have it in school, because you have a large Muslim population in Philadelphia. Like we have a very unique community here, and we should be served exactly as we're represented. So that only happens when we show that we take halal food seriously, and we show that it's important. And the Philly Halal Food Festival, alhamdulillah, has shown just that.
Another non-serious question. According to Grand Canyon University, in their 2023 study, Mexican food, which you mentioned actually a few minutes ago, Mexican food was at the top of the charts with regard to the most popular cuisine in America, and specifically in Philly. What's a cuisine that is underrated to you?
Me with my I eat anything hat on. Um, anything halal, of course. Um, the a food that I would say that's underrated, African food, I feel like is very underrated. Like I love things that have like a burst in flavor, and that are like, it's time consuming to make. You taste the love as soon as you eat it. Yeah, African food in general, I think is very underrated. You have yassa chicken, you have jollof rice, you have all these different things that I feel like are extremely good. You have palava sauce, you have cassava leaf, potato green. You have so many good things that I feel like people like, especially Muslims in Philadelphia. I feel like we're getting into it a little bit more, but people don't explore it as much. There's a lot of different things. And a few of these things you can get to try at the Philly Halal Food Festival.
Right, check it out there. So, with that being said, please give the listeners all the info concerning this year's festival: the time, location, cost, website, all that stuff, please.
Yep, inshallah, we would love to see you guys at the second annual Philly Halal Food Festival, happening this Saturday, September 21st, from 12 to 10 p.m. at the Khair Community Center at 1079 Egypt Road in Phoenixville. You can find all the information at phillyhalalfoodfest.com. You can purchase your tickets there. Unfortunately, our early bird special for $5 tickets has ended, but you can still get your $7 tickets on the website and $8 at the door. So definitely make sure you get it online if you want that little extra discount, especially if you're paying for multiple people and you're bringing your entire family.
Alhamdulillah. Perfect. All right, so again, appreciate you coming on with us, and hopefully be successful again, inshallah. May Allah make it easy on all your planners. May He reward all of y'all.
And
And so hopefully be again a safe and fun time, inshallah. So
Inshallah.
let me close out. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
All right.